Benker and his sheepdog Ziggy look after 300 sheep on this 300-acre farm he manages in Herefordshire. But recently, Wojtek has been experimenting with new technology that could make Ziggy redundant. For hundreds of years, there's been one traditional way to round up sheep, and that's with a dog and a whistle.
Bill's away on the right.
This method even resulted in a hugely popular BBC TV programme, One Man and His Dog.
Oh, well, now that was jolly good handling.
But these days it might just be possible to gather in the flock without even putting your wellies on. Drones are increasingly popular as cameras or toys, but will they catch on as an alternative to a sheepdog?
So here we go. This is exciting. I can't wait to see the drone in action.
We go up to a certain height so that the sheep can hear and see that the drone is there. Slowly start to gather together. You can hear them already starting to bleat, and that's a good sign.
That means they're getting interested.
Yeah. They tune into the sound specifically of this drone for the reward.
That one seems to be the ringleader.
Yes. You often get a couple of what we sort of call reactors at the front who are keen to come.
Did you think it would work when you first tried?
When I first tried, no. I've always been surprised at how responsive they are and how calm they are. So there we go, that's the drone leading sheep into a field.
Like the Pied Piper, they've literally followed your drone up the hill.
And that's the big difference in how the drone works. It doesn't force them like a sheepdog, it leads the sheep to wherever the farmer wants. Wojtek has been helped in his endeavours by Professor Mark Rutter, an animal behaviourist at the nearby Harper Adams University. He came up with the idea of getting the sheep to follow the drone.
Quite a few sheep farmers have been interested in the potential of using drones to help them. They've been trying to drove the sheep traditionally, so effectively the drone replaces the sheepdog, it will fly in behind the sheep and they just stop responding.
Why do they stop responding?
Well, animals, it's important as a prey species. Obviously you need to be aware of threats in your environment, but you can't be frightened of everything all of the time because you won't eat, you won't be able to reproduce, so you have to learn to filter out anything that's no longer a threat. You want to learn to ignore it. And this is what the sheep do with the drone. They just, once they've seen it a few times, it hasn't hurt them, we can just ignore it. So we thought, well, could we, rather than try and scare the sheep with the drone, could we get them to associate the drone with food? So we did that first of all, and they quite quickly learnt. I mean, people say sheep are stupid, but actually, they're not. So not only do they associate, well, I'll come to where the drone is, but if I continue to follow it, it will lead me to where the food is.
Mark thinks that longer term, the most important use of a drone will be in keeping an eye on the sheep.
It can do things that the sheepdog can't do. It can go out, it can monitor them, it can check that they're okay, it can report that back to the farmer, but then it could also potentially guide them.
Well, I found that a lot of fun, but is rounding up the sheep with a drone likely to catch on in the southeast?
Plumpton College in Sussex keeps around 200 sheep for its agricultural students to practice with. We want to see how our new method will work on untrained sheep.
Can the students at Plumpton, with a little bit of practice, learn to be drone shepherds?
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hello, Alan Johnson.
Wojtek and Mark have come to show off their 21st century techniques in the hope of persuading them it's the future.
I was introduced to the drone and it's now become a useful tool on the farm. We're now using it to move the sheep from field to field.
Wojtek has been using the drone to record his progress, and he's keen to show the new shepherding process to the Plumpton team.
After a year of a little bit of training and trying different things, we've now got all the sheep on the farm that will willingly come toward the drone.
And Wojtek shows the Plumpton College people how he can use his drone to lead these sheep through a narrow gate.
And through they come.
Alan, what do you think of it? Can you give it a go here at Plumpton?
Oh, I think it's fascinating to see the way those sheep moved, stress-free, and quite quickly actually, and at their own pace as well. And actually they were almost enjoying it because they knew there was going to be something good at the end, and I think that is a really good thing. So in this particular field we've got about 200 ewes and their lambs.
So are Wojtek's sheep just a one-off, or can Plumpton get their sheep to follow a drone? The first step is to get the sheep used to the drone while they're fed. They're hoping the sheep quickly associate the drone with a treat. We land after the first flight and already the sheep are looking interested.
We're going to have another go now. As soon as Wojtek put the drone in place, actually, the sheep started coming. It's like they've already associated it with more grub. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly they run over now. I think it might be almost straight away.
Obviously I'm just watching, I'm not an expert, but I'd like to be able to think that it's a part of the curriculum in the future.
Of course, this is just a little taster for Plumpton College. Wojtek took a couple of months to train his sheep, but one day it may be a common sight to see drones leading sheep around our farmland. But luckily for Ziggy the sheepdog, that day is probably a long way off.